Well, when I joined the UN in July 2000, I wanted to contribute to the UN's effort to make a better life for the people across the world. So I joined the UN based on the ideal of the organization, which are my ideals. I never thought that I would be serving in an area where I would be asked to lie about crimes against humanity. What is disturbing in the modern history of Sudan is that following the independence, the government, successive governments embarked on ethnic cleansing of population based on their colors and ethnic backgrounds. Anyone who knows this country would definitely see similarities in the ethnic cleansing that took place in South Sudan for decades. Then it started in Darfur in early 2003 until nowadays. And then I think about 3 or 4 years ago, it started again in the Nuba Mountains, using the same methods, the same death squads, the Janjaweed militias. It's been this militia strategy has been a kind of signature of the crimes committed by the Sudanese government forces. And unfortunately, because the government was not held to account when it ethnically cleansed the South Sudanese, he thought that it could do the same thing in Darfur, in Nuba Mountains, and probably in other places. Before I joined UNAMID as the spokesperson for that mission, I wasn't aware of the continuation of the ethnic cleansing of non-Arab population. I had checked the reports of the Secretary General, which basically said that peace was on the way, situation had improved, security situation had largely improved, and that all was needed was basically the development. So it was on that basis that I accepted to become the spokesperson, thinking I would be the spokesperson for peace. In August 2012, I started discovering quite a different narrative, quite a different situation. I was approached by the press on 25th of August, 9 days after I had arrived in Darfur. They asked me about clashes in an area called Tawila. So I asked my colleagues in the mission about the situation in that area, and I was told that the situation was calm. So I conveyed this line, which would appear to be a lie that I had conveyed unwittingly, because this is what the mission told me. And soon after that Tawila event, we realized that actually the situation wasn't calm at all. The government forces, board of 150 vehicles, attacked 4 villages. They raped women, injured the children and elderly people, and it was an ethnically targeted attack on civilians. So I approached the mission leadership and I told them, look, this issue wasn't calm. Why did you lie to the press? And the general, Y. Jones Kisamba, who was in charge of the mission at the time, told me, listen, sometimes we have to behave like diplomats. We can't say all what we see in Darfur. This was a disturbing line I heard from a leadership of the mission. So this was the beginning of a discovery, a troubling discovery of the truth being held and concealed from the public, from the media, from the Security Council, from anyone who was interested in knowing what was going on in Darfur. Well, what made me take that decision to speak out was the fact that the mission leadership, and I'm talking about the head of mission, the person in charge of the information flow, Mr. Karen Chalian, and others who were deliberately manipulating information about Darfur. this wasn't some incompetence issue. This wasn't a coincidence. It was a systematic manipulation of the reporting on crimes committed by the government. I decided quite early on, first of all, to know exactly what was happening, who was killing who, what kind of violence we were talking about. And when I realized that the government had embarked on a second phase of ethnic cleansing, targeting the Zagawa population after the first phase, which targeted the Darfur, it was clear in my mind that I had to speak out. What I did was to save as many documents as I could, ask many questions, get the answers, get everything in writing so that I could ask for an investigation, and I could also alert the public. So in my mind it was very clear that I had the duty to tell what I knew. This was a death and life and death situation. It wasn't any crime. These were ethnic cleansing, and the lives of millions of people were at stake. So I never had any doubt about my duty to speak up. There's also a personal a personal reason why I did it. My father was a sharpshooter in World War II. He enrolled in 1943 under the French colonial army and joined the international force, and at the time hoping he would fight the Nazi Germany at the time. He was sent to Algeria. He never made that war. He was sent later on to Indochina. And in Indochina, my father fought the Indochinese, believing that this was an evil force that was just like the Nazi. He was told that he was fighting the evil guys. After he returned, when he returned from Indochina, he realized that they lied to him, that he fought against people who were just asking for their independence. And he had to live with this deception, with this bad conscience about having fought the wrong war. And I grew up not only disliking the war, but wanting to be part of any peace effort. And that's why I joined the UN. I joined the UN because I wanted to remove any memories of the war that I had inherited from my father. And that's probably why when I was in Darfur, and I thought that the leadership of UNAMID, but also of the UN, was lying to me and to others about the war, I felt that I had to do what my father didn't do, which was to convey what I knew and to expose the lies. One of the problems that it was a major concern to me was the fact that the Department of Peacekeeping Operations in New York had already embarked on the withdrawal of the peacekeepers from Darfur. By April 2012, they had already decided to withdraw up to 6,000 troops based on the assumption that the situation had largely improved and there was no need for a major peacekeeping force there. So by speaking up, I was hoping that I would stop that trend. And I'm quite happy that we did manage, with the help, of the mobilization of many people around the world. We managed to get Darfur back on the agenda. There was a renewed interest in Darfur. The fact that I exposed many crimes that were untold to the public, and the Security Council managed to convince many people that the situation was quite bad. Actually, it was getting worse, and it was definitely not the time to withdraw peacekeepers. I had to speak up. There was no doubt in my mind that, of course, a price had to be paid, but I can't even compare losing a job to losing, one's lives. So I hope, this would make a difference in the future for the people of Darfur and Sudan.